we already know that this is gram-positive and gram-negative in order to teach you this. Okay? So this is a gram-positive organism, this is a gram-negative organism. We're going to start by putting it on a slide, and we're going to heat fix it. We take the slide and we go twice through the tip of a Bunsen burner, and that will make the organism stick to the slide. That's very, very important, because you see, if you're going to stain and wash and stain and wash and stain and rinse and stain and wash, you're going to wash the organism off the slide. But if you heat fix it, it won't get off of the slide. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So we'll start with our first thing. It's called crystal violet. We're going to go ahead and stain the organisms with crystal violet. And by the way, I want to remind you that before we stain them, do you know what these organisms look like under the microscope? They're transparent. They're clear. You can't see them. So without staining them at all, you will see nothing. So we stain them first with this crystal violet. Then we rinse. Then we add grams iodine, or actually I don't like you to rinse between 1 and 2. Personally, I don't want you to. So then you're going to add something called grams iodine, which is a mordant. It's a glue. And it's going to make the purple stick to the cell walls. The purple might not stick over here. How will you know this? Because next you're going to rinse with with alcohol, ethyl alcohol. Do you know why the purple didn't come off after you rinsed with alcohol? Because the iodine made the purple stick to that cell wall. When you use alcohol here, it'll be clear again. Do you know why the iodine didn't make the purple stick here?
Why?
Because there's a cell membrane right here. So the purple sticks to the cell wall. Let's make sure it sticks. And even when we use alcohol, it still sticks. Everybody following me?
Mm-hmm.
Here we're going to use purple. It's going to stick to the organism. Here we're going to use grams iodine. In theory, it might make it stick a little bit better. But once you use alcohol, all of the coloring goes away, and now the organism is clear. It's transparent. You don't even get to see this. Now, the reason we're going to do this last step is we're going to use safranin, which is a red dye. The reason we're going to do this is because this organism was gram-negative, isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
And since there's no purple coloring here, now the red dye will turn this red. Do you know why the red dye isn't turning this one red? Because it's already colored purple, and the red dye won't stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the idea here is that you got to get used to my exams. And I don't ask second and third grade questions. I'm not going to ask you what comes after the iodine, what comes before the alcohol. I don't ask questions like that. Would you like some samples of some of the questions that I'm going to ask you on your exam?
Yes.
I'll make a deal with you. I'll ask the questions, but I will not give you the answers. You're going to give me the answers today.
Okay.
Deal? Okay, so has everybody followed me up to now exactly the steps that we do this? One more thing I'd like to just tell you is that we're going to leave the crystal violet on for like a minute. We'll leave the iodine on for a minute. Alcohol does not stay on longer.
30 seconds.
I'm going to say 20 seconds. My winning formula, I do like 10 seconds. 10, 12 seconds. And then your red dye can stay on for a minute. If you want to do 30 seconds for some of these, who cares? This is the one that matters. Yes?
Why does that matter?
That's one of my questions.